It's really interesting. I've been talking to a lot of people about this because I'm interested in different people's take on the show this year. I'm really intrigued by it because as soon as the list of artists was announced, I was really excited because I'm a big fan of a lot of the artists in the show, and I think they're, just from the list of names, it evoked a very particular sort of direction, I think, even though there wasn't a theme. And the curators have been really articulate about it too. They talk about a lessness and a sort of modesty in the work that I think we haven't seen before, which is certainly true in my work. I think if you compare, it's interesting in a way just to compare the project that was in the sculpture court for the last biennial, the Peace Tower, and my project that's there now. You know, one that was about the war, and this one, I mean, I suppose in particular you could say is about the environment in some way. But I really didn't want to do a project that was monumental, that was an object that occupied the space or even dominated it. I really wanted to do a very quiet project that sort of wove itself into the space, and really was took a back seat to it. And I think a lot of the work in the show is with very modest materials and doesn't, and for the most part, it's the work isn't very highly produced. And it tends to be, I mean, I think the best of the work really tends to be quite modest in that regard, I suppose. I really like Jedediah Caesar has a really phenomenal, huge, colossal block of rainbow-colored resin that is on, oh, I don't know, I think it might be on the 4th floor, but as part of my project, we're doing animal movements through the museum. All 12 animals are being performed by a dancer every week. So one of the the score of the Mason bee is actually performed around this piece coincidentally, and he told me, or he told a friend of mine that while he was making the piece, bees kept getting attracted to it and stuck in it, so there's all these bees in there. So strangely enough, our bee movements are happening right around that piece. I know Stanya Khan and Harry Dodge are friends from Los Angeles that have this wonderful video in the show. I think that's become really popular. There's a lot of performance in this biennial, and I think, you know, the strange thing about performance is you can't walk through the Whitney Museum and pass judgment on the exhibition as easily, because it's wrapped up in all this time-based work that you need to spend time with and that you need to go and experience separately. So I think there's a lot of work happening at the museum and at the Armory that you won't be able to see all at once. For example, there's a performance this Tuesday that I'm going to by a couple from LA called Lucky Dragons, and their work is very interactive and involves the group creation of sound and music together as a collaborative that I'm looking forward to.